I found my birth mother after 28 years. She was my college professor. I accidentally discovered my birth mother last semester. She wasn't just anyone, she was Dr. Winters, the psychology professor I'd been taking classes from for 2 years. The adoption records opened on my 28th birthday last October. I'd waited years for this moment, but when the manila envelope finally arrived, I almost couldn't open it. What if my birth mother wanted nothing to do with me? What if finding her answered questions I wasn't ready to face? The file was thin, just basic information. No father listed, Corin contact information, unknown, Catherine Winters. The name buzzed in my head like static. I'd been searching for this woman my entire life without knowing her name, creating countless versions of her in my mind. Was she artistic Menji? Did she think about me on my birthday? I typed her name into Google without expecting much. That's when my world tilted sideways. The first result: Dr. Catherine Winters, Puckety Department Chair, Metropolitan University, my department, my advisor. The woman who'd spent hours helping me develop my research proposal, who'd written my recommendation for graduate school, who told me last week I had extraordinary analytical skills, was my birth mother. I stared at her faculty photo. We had the same eyes. How had I never noticed? For days I couldn't eat or sleep. I drafted a dozen emails I never sent. I skipped her class for the first time ever. When she emailed asking if I was okay, I made up an excuse about the flu. What do you say to the woman who gave you away then? Unknowingly welcomed you back into her life 28 years later? The universe has a strange sense of humor. Of all the universities I could have chosen, all the majors I could have pursued, I had landed in her classroom. Was it coincidence? Or had something in my DNA drawn me to psychology, to this school? To her? I finally worked up the courage to visit her office hours. My hand trembled as I knocked on her door. Emily, Pazza butter, she smiled, motioning me in. I sat down, clutching my backpack. I found my birth mother, I blurted out. I was adopted, and I just got access to my records. Her expression was kind, interested, the face of a professor hearing a student's news, not the face of a woman about to have her life upended. That must be emotional, she said gently. How are you feeling about it? Confused, I admitted. Dr. Winters nodded. In my research on adoption reunions? That's quite common. We build elaborate fantasies about birth parents. Your research, I repeated. That's actually why I wanted to talk to you. I pulled out the file and placed it on her desk. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. Catherine Winters, 19, English major at State University. I said, that was you, wasn't it? The color drained from her face. She reached for the file with trembling fingers, opened it, then looked up at me. Professors looked at me, perhaps for the first time. Emily, she whispered, not as my professor, but as the teenager who had named me before letting me go. I've been sitting in your class for 2 years, I said, my voice breaking. You've been teaching me about human development, about parent-child attachment, about identity formation, while I've been searching for mine. She covered her mouth with her hand. I never knew your adoptive parents' names. The adoption was closed. She stopped, tears forming. I was just a freshman when I got pregnant. My parents threatened to cut me off if I kept you. I was so young, so scared. Did you ever think about me? The question I'd wanted to ask my entire life. Every single day. Her voice cracked. Every birthday, every milestone. I went back to school, changed my major to psychology. I wanted to understand loss identity. I've specialized in adoption research for 20 years trying to. She gestured helplessly. Find me? I finished. She nodded, unable to speak. We talked for hours that afternoon. About her life after placing me for adoption. About my childhood with parents who told me I was chosen special. About the strange cosmic coincidence that brought us back together. We're taking things slowly now. She's not my mother. That title belongs to the woman who raised me, but she's becoming something else. A mentor, a friend, a missing piece of my story. Last week, she showed me a box she'd kept hidden in her closet for 28 years. Inside was a tiny hospital bracelet, a lock of my baby hair, and every published paper I've written for her classes, each one graded without knowing they were the words of her daughter. Sometimes the answers we seek have been teaching us all along.